Well, my table is full, as you can see, and these are all the goodies that Heidi has worked with. So I'm just going to go through them briefly. Well, actually, no, I'm not right now. Right now, I want to show you one of the projects that Heidi has done. And look at this. This is from the Peeping Pals, and you can see that elephant has burst through a wall of bricks to say, time to celebrate. Very fun. And look at all that shine behind it. Well, there's more to come. Please, won't you come play with us? Okay, now I'll go through the products. Now, what we have are these little square pocket pads, and what they have is 64 sheets. They are 3 1/4 inches square, and you're going to get 16 designs, 4 of each one. And as I go through them, I will show you what all the images are, but right now I'm just going to give you the titles. So we have Birds in Focus, we have Coastal Wishes, we have Garden of Dreams, we have Watercolor Horses, and we have the Peeping Pals, which is what I showed you in the beginning. Then we also have a Splendid Sentiments book. Now these are especially designed for the square pocket pads. And actually, I'll show you these sheets. Now there are 344 greetings in here, and you're going to get 40 sheets, and 4 of each one, same thing. So you can see just a note, happy anniversary, on your retirement, sympathy, numbers for birthdays or celebrations. And then we also have these, so a variety of greetings, brief ones, as well as some that have more length to them. And you can see just everything, Mother's Day, Father's Day, well done for your aunt, make a wish for the birthday girl, to the birthday boy. And let's see, okay, so all of these, and you'll see how these are used, and then we have some longer ones also. So that is what the Splendid Sentiments has. And we also have these perfectly sized square pocket pads in gold, and the gold is going to look like this. There we go, bright merry gold, as you would expect. We also have silver, and same thing, very bright. And then we also have a iridescent, so that's going to be something different. And I have one of those right here. In fact, it was used on that elephant card. And you can see, well, you can see it right there. It's going to have a rainbow. But as you're looking at it, it's more silver, but under light, it's going to be more reflective. So that's what we have. And there are 96 sheets in each one of these. It's a hunkin' big pad. Okay, so that's what we have. And let me share with you exactly what Heidi has done. And we're going to begin with the Birds in Focus. And here is her first card. So she is using the square pocket pad on a 5 by 6.5 inch card. And you can see this has the silver on it. And in the birds, she is going to be using this one of the 2 doves on the front. And on the inside, she's using this. But I promised to show you all of the others, so here we go. And I know you like seeing these because you tell me that in the comments. So we will take the time just to go through them, just so that you can really see. And most of these have some birds, excuse me, some flowers or some leaves around them, as you would expect. Some are flying, and there we go. So a whole variety of birds. And did you notice that I intentionally did not even try to name them because that would not work? So there you go. So you can see all those, 4 sheets of each one. And what Heidi did, in fact, in all of the projects, because she has the art here and she knows that's going to be the focal, she did match it with our papers. So that works out very, very nicely. And in this case, she used newsprint florals, and the newsprint florals are a more muted colors, although right now this one has some bright red in it, but even that is a muted red. And so newsprint florals, 12 by 12 pattern, and newsprint florals solid, and you can see all the colors that are there. So what she has done is she took the newsprint that is the white and light green and cut that piece and then matted it on a light green out of the solid. Okay, so that became her kind of base on her card front. Then she did something different, I thought, and she took this one that's a peach color out of the pattern and matted it on a peach solid. And look where she's placed it. Instead of putting it right in the middle, it goes over to the edge of that first layer. And it's about 1/2 inch between the two pieces. There are two pieces there. So I thought that was interesting. Then she took that bird, and I've already lost it. There we go. Okay, and you can see this is going to be how it's going to be perfectly matted, just super easy. And I know from previous collections that you've really appreciated that. So we're just going to attach that, and then it gets foam taped. And notice what she did. Instead of having it just right at the edge of this peach layer, she's got it a little bit above, about 1/4 inch above, and then it's going to go over this gap. And then she took one of the sentiments. So to the happy couple, that's one of the sentiments. And that really is the key to her color selection too, is that this peach color is in with the doves. It's also in with the greeting, and it also matches the newsprint florals. So everything is just perfectly done. Hooray for our side. And as you know, Heidi is a great believer in making perfect bows. And her tip is to use the Bow Maker by Hunkdory. And so that's going to be probably anywhere you're going to see a bow that's going to be used. In this case, she used our white ribbon set. And look at the dotted one. How fun is that? And she dotted it in place. She also added some pearls just right on the edge to just give a little dimension. On the inside, did the same thing with another one of the light green and white patterned newsprint florals and matted it on the light green, put it inside. And then this is that second bird, remember that I showed you. It too is matted onto a silver, but this time is a little simpler because most of the time the insides of the cards are simpler. But she did do something different with the ribbon. She used the same ribbon she used on the front, but simply wrapped it around and attached the ends on the back, and then knotted a length over the side. So that's just a separate length that has been knotted. And I think that's a really, really, really good look and easily done, I might add. And then she foam taped that in place. On Your Wedding Day is another of the sentiments that has been matted on the silver. So I think you can get probably at least 3 of these greetings for each piece of the matting. So that's going to work nicely. And then the pearls are here and up here, 3 in each corner. So that takes care of our first card. Very gentle, very pretty, as you would expect for a wedding. Okay, now we're going to go to the seashore, and we're going to look at the coastal waters, coastal wishes. Okay. And in this one, as you would expect, there's going to be lots of sea things. And so let me just show you. So we've got boats, as you would expect. I also noticed that some of these have extra papers that have been placed on them, maybe the look of torn paper. So that's nice. Fishing, beach, starfish. And these are lighter papers. You can see that they're not just easily flipping through them. And that's fine because they're going to be matted, and that works just really well. We've got our seagulls. We've got lots of row houses. Now you could cut these up and make a fun border too. We've got the bicycles at the beach. We've got those row houses. We've got the penguin and the lighthouse. But what she has used for this card, let me just bring this in. Now this is a square card, and you can do this one of 2 ways. You can get the square cards, or you can take your 5 by 6.5 inch card and simply trim it to be 5 inches square. And that's what Heidi did. One reason you're going to want this 5 inches square is because she's going to put some paper on it and then cut a frame, an aperture out of it. So let me show you that process. So she's going to take, again, like I said, she wants to match papers to these. So she has chosen at the shore. So we have the 12 by 12 pattern, and we have the 12 by 12 solid. All of those ocean and beachy colors right there. So she took the pattern, this is the one with the light blue and dark blue on the same sheet, cut the piece, and then matted it on the dark blue, glued it to the front of her card, and she was sure that she attached it especially well in the middle, because then she used the square dies, this is squares and scalloped, and placed it in the middle. Yes, you place it after you put the papers on it, and then you can run it through your die cutting machine, because this is only 5 inches across, and so it'll go into your regular Big Shot, Gemini, whatever you have. Then so that's that piece. She did use a scallop, which usually when I see the windows, they're just the straight lines, which are also in the dies, as you can see, but she elected to use the scalloped. Then she took that same scallop and took the larger one and used the white glitter cardstock and die cut out a frame to go outside of it. So that just worked very, very nicely. Now, let me show you what she has used for her artwork. So you can obviously see that the seashell is going to be on the inside, but for this outside, she used this piece, and she did cut around that collection of seashells and the seaweed, and you can see that's been foam taped and glued right there. And then this one, with all of these different shells, she has trimmed those out and just foam taped them in the corners. Once again, the lady has used pearls just to accent it. And then again the sentiments, and for Mom with Love. Now that's MUM, because these are made by Hunkdory in England, so that will be fun to have. Then on the inside, she has taken the tan cardstock and covered it, and then she took this strip that has the beach and some of the blue stripes and glued that in the center. And remember that sheet that I showed you in the sentiments that was long? Well, this is where she used it, so you can see, especially for you, it's just going right across the top. So that worked very, very well. And the seashell was matted onto yet another scalloped white glitter piece done with the dies, and more pearls just to go right next to the pearl right there. So that's just very, very nice. And your card will fit perfectly, and just give you a look at those pearls. Very pretty, aren't they? Okay, so that's 2 down. Now we have another, and that is right here. And this is from the Garden of Dreams. Doesn't that sound wonderful? And let me show you what some of that imagery looks like. So here we go. So Garden of Dreams. So there's arbors, there's fountains, a gazebo, a walkway, very comfortable place. And you can see, oh yes, certainly have a pond in our backyard, and a gate, and a house, cottage, and some boats. Let's see, yes, another fountain, and setting for tea, and a little bridge going over, a gazebo. We've got another, and another gazebo. No gazebos at my house, but this again is a Garden of Dreams, so that's going to work. So what she has used on this card, now this card is 5 by 6.5 inches, and she was going for the colors in here. So you can see the green and the pink, and I thought her choice was really interesting because she chose songbirds and on the front. So she's used this piece that's more golden. Now this is a 6 by 6, so she did need to use the Songbird solid cardstock, and there's something going on the inside, which is why she also needed that 12 by 12 solid cardstock. But first, let's just stay right here. So the pieces that she has chosen, here is that swing, which is just very romantic and very nice. And she quickly mats it on that gold, and she foam taped it there toward the bottom, if you'll notice. And then her message from the sentiment sheet is also on the gold, and it is more at the top. And by the way, all the dimensions, the placement of things, that's down below. Heidi has written out everything, and so it's going to be easy just to duplicate this. The From the Heart, that is one of those wider strips. She's attached it here with glue and then foam taped this piece. She did use the bow maker again, and she used our burgundy set just to really bring out some of the colors in the papers and zotted it at the corner of the greeting. Now on the inside, okay, you ready? Ta-da! Wow, look at that. How fun. Okay, just pops up. Just like that. You can do it however many times you want to. Okay, now what she used is this, the folding pop-up card cutting dies. Super easy to put together. There is this pop-up mechanism right there. And then you have the folding pop-up. That's that piece that's in the middle that's folded. And there are some tags also. Now, she didn't use that one. That's another option that you could use to attach on top of this mechanism, but she only used the two pieces. And the directions, well, the directions are right with the die. So right on the back tells you exactly how to put that mechanism using the extra sticky tape. And a bone folder is really happy. Bone folder, and in this case, 1/2 inch extra sticky tape is what's really useful and makes it work. So directions with your cutting dies always together from our fabulous folded collection. Okay, now, so what we have here is a sheet of the songbirds trimmed down smaller than the card, and she has elected to do it on both sides. And I think that's smart because this is really inviting you to look both places, the left and the right. So having something behind that works really well. Now, she did take the other greetings, or excuse me, the other images. So you can see the gazebo, you can see that little house. But then she did add some die cuts. And the die cuts are, as you can imagine, the songbirds die cuts. So this strip she trimmed and glued on each side. Wake Up with Song, the little hello, those are from the songbirds. And like I said, she used the gold pieces and attached them to this, that piece that folds it. And then notice how they're just trimmed to match the cutting die. So you can either run them through the cutting die or just trim them to fit, whichever you like. I thought it was really clever, since these are a little bit smaller than this piece, is that she added some more greetings out of the die cuts. So to my friend, just a note. There's another little bird here. And then the very glittery piece is these dazzles. Now these are new. These are the oval border dazzles. And this is obviously the colorful collection. And I was talking to Lene this morning, and she said she and Debbie are absolutely loving them. So that was nice. So you can see that this is just going to fold down. Now Heidi did one more thing, and you can kind of see it on the edge here if your monitor is that detailed. And she did take our Delicata ink pad. This is the gold one. And she just edged the card both on the front and on the inside of both areas. So it's called direct paper, and that's because it is taking the ink pad without using a blending tool, but just taking it and going right along the edge directly onto the paper, okay? So that's going to be another step. And that just adds another golden finish touch to this very lovely card. Okay, now we're going to get into the watercolor horses, and I think that's really kind of funny. It tickles me that calling them out of watercolor, but evidently that's what the art is. So let me show you what those look like. And here we go. So, and I know there are many horse lovers out there. So we've got doubles sometimes, and the single, mom in full. Here we go. Several. And everything obviously is fitting in the square quite nicely. Some flowers with it. And there we go. Charging through the water at a barn, and again, a mom in a foal. So that's the ones. Now let me show you what Heidi has used. And this card is, she has used the gold pieces in another way. So she has taken, to begin with, a card, and I have one here. This happens to be the 5 by 6.5 inch. The bump stays in the middle of the card, so I'm going to fold this, and I'm going to use the bone folder just to make that nice and secure. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now, what I want to duplicate is what Heidi's done. So while this looks like a full circle, which it is, when I turn it over, you're going to see the flat area of the card because you need obviously to have a fold. So what she has done is she has used our circle and scallop dies, and she says in the directions the measurement. I think it was 3 1/4 if I recall correctly, but let me just pull. That's going to be a smaller one. So let me pull this out. Okay, so this is what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to take the die, and instead of putting it in the middle, you're going to turn it over and make sure that it goes over the fold. And then I use the low-tack tape to hold it in place. Then, first, you're going to need to trim it down because this is 6.5 inches. So you want to trim it down to 5 inches. That way it will go through your die cutting machine. And you just run the whole thing through. So trim that off to be about 5 inches. You can place this, again, just over the fold, so it's not going to cut that fold, and run it through your die cutting machine, and you will have this piece. Then take that exact same die and place it onto the gold Mary piece. Nope, that's not going to work. Look at that. That's not going to work. So you are going to need a larger piece of the gold Mary. Fortunately, we have that. So you want to die cut that out. You're going to die cut 2 of them because we want one for the front of the card, which is going to hang over that straight edge. And we're going to need another one for the inside. Now, the one on the inside is going to need to be trimmed to fit just next to that score line, okay? But something else is going on. Okay, let me get all of these put away because I don't want to lose them. Is that she has this card is going to become an easel card. So there's a lot going on this. So that's what's going to happen now. So in order to do this, you're going to need to score. So Heidi recommends the adorable scoreboard. And you can just place this on here and use the bone folder just to make a nice straight line for that. And that will take care of that. And then we want to discuss which papers and what's going to go with them. So what she has chosen for the front are these two, the mama and the baby. And she's done another interesting thing. Lots going on in this. It's called a pyramid. And what you do is you use several sizes of circular dies. Fortunately, they're all in that pack. And you can see it's cut right here, and then larger, and then the outside one. So interesting. Now you want to make sure that you are positioning the dies in the same spot for each of them. So the scallop one is going to go first, and that's going to go on one sheet. Then that piece is going to be set aside. Then you're going to take another one of these and place the next circle around those, set that aside, and then finally the last one. Now those will be foam taped together, but the scallop one is going to get matted. It's going to get matted on a pattern. What she chose was this set. It's called Romantic Florals. Isn't it pretty? And again, the colors are going to go nicely with the colors in the illustrations. This is 6 by 6. She did use the solid also because it's going to match perfectly and you don't have to go chasing around everywhere. So she has used this piece that is larger than the scalloped one, and it's still all doing the dies out of that same set. So, and it is matted on the rose colored that also has the scallop. So we've got round, scallop, round, scallop, round, round, round. Okay, so that's how it goes. And they're going to be, these two are going to be glued together. This is going to be glued on top, and then these are foam taped. Then she did go and cut some roses. Now the roses are in the floral paste, and she just cut them out on your special day, as you know from the sentiments. And look what she's done. She's kind of raised it in the center. Now you could support that with foam tape if you wanted to. And then she's brought the ends down. That's something that Heidi likes to do. And those go just a tad outside the circle. That's perfectly fine. As you can tell, there's something going on inside. And inside is going to be the same process, the same products, and the same dyes. So she has a solid out of the dark romantic flowers, and then she's got a printed, and then this is the, there you go, these are the two horses. So she's done the large one, so same dyes as before, scallop, and then two circles just right on top. Foam tape those in place, glue everything else in place. And love and best wishes. Now notice on the front, it's going kind of to the left a little bit. On the inside, it's going to the right. Now, another advantage of foam taping these in place, number one, that's how you do this technique, but also it's going to serve to hold that easel in place. So that's going to work very nicely, and those work very well. Again, another little flower from that first collection, and you are done. That's a lot going on one card, but it works, it works. And don't forget, the processes can work on any of these pocket pals, so that's going to be a nice treat. Okay, finally, we are at our peeping pals. Now, our peeping pals are just charming, absolutely charming. The elephant is, of course, my favorite, but let me show you what else is in here. We have tiger, and look, isn't it cute? Just on a sloth, a cute sloth. And we've got a pig and a penguin. I guess I don't really need to name these for you, do I? You can figure it out. We got a chipmunk and a bear as I continue to do it. Giraffe and fox. Just absolutely puppy. The kitty and a panda and something else. Raccoon and a deer and a bunny. So absolutely, absolutely charming. I don't know who the artist is, but they're just charming. Okay, now this is another card that was trimmed down. So this is also a 5x5, and you can really see that how that iridescence is playing, isn't it, under the camera. Now she's done several layers like she did on that first card, and her collection consists of obviously this baby and the iridescent, as I told you before. But to make everything work, she used the hidden animals. I thought that was really fun. And you can see that this has got textured looking papers as well as lots of prints. And of course, it is also going to have a matching solid cardstock, hidden animals. Very appropriate for our little animals that are breaking out and peeking at us. So she's got a couple of layers going on. So the first one is to cut the 6x6 and then mat it on the green solid and attach that to her card. Then she did the iridescent. She has trimmed them into quadrants, into 4 pieces, just evenly spaced, and matted each of those on that same dark blue. So you should be able to see that. And then she foam taped them, as you can see. Again, measurements are in the directions. Then she took this guy, matted him on here, and foam taped that puppy right on top. So he is, it's kind of stair-stepping, isn't it, as you can see. The time to celebrate, well, as you know, that's in the sentiments. And this is the number 5. So remember that sheet that had all the numbers? She has matted that onto the solid cardstock and foam taped it there. The time to celebrate is here. She did something else. Remember, there are 4 pieces of each image. So she took a second piece and just cut out the face, not the ears, just the face, and foam tape that on just to give it a little bit of dimension. Now, she added, in all of those iridescent silvers, she added some jewel dazzles, and they are here. And I know that's just wow in your face. You can tell I've used some other times. But this has 540 circles on it. These are all in silver. And like Lene, Heidi likes to use the jewel picker because it's just such a great tool for picking these up. So you can just press on, and it will lift up just like that one did. And then you can attach it, wherever you need to attach it, just like so. Okay, now I'm going to put that, well, I guess I'm not. Yes, I am going to put it back. There we go. Okay, and this has a jumbo size and a smaller one. Okay, like that. Then we also have a separate one that is a jumbo. We're out of it right now. It's on order, so it's coming, but we do have 2 of these jewel pickers because, you know, one just isn't quite enough. Okay, so that takes care of our card front. You can see those jewel dazzles are in the corners. Now we're going to go to the inside. And what she did here was just to do more of that geometric that she did on the front. So this is a small piece of the blue cardstock, and then she took that same patterned cardstock and matted it this time on light blue, foam taped that in place. So we've got a rectangle and a square, and then same thing, she took the iridescent and cut it into quarters and glued that right on top. Then there is a long border that she did matte on the solid, and another rectangle. And then remember I said some of the sentiments were longer. I send you a wish, and it's just to say that I think you're amazing in every way. Who wouldn't want to get that? A number 5 and more of the jewel dazzles complete this card. Wow, very fun. So you have 5 cards this time, 5 techniques, and oh my goodness, you have all of these. So we've got the sentiments, which we've talked about in all of them. And we've got the Peeping Pals and the Coastal Wishes. And we have Birds in Focus, the Watercolor Horses, the Garden of Dreams, and then 3 of these already cut square pocket pads in gold, in silver, and in holographic. Wow, lots of stuff. Okay, we do have these all together in a money saver for you. And it's on the right side of your screen because that's where everything lives. And that will give you a discount if you are interested. And I love the fact that Hunkdory is making coordinating things. To have these already done is just really nice. And to have the iridescent is a treat too. So, and so many different looks. So that's fun. There's going to be something for everyone in your family. Okay, if you are watching this on YouTube, you know what we need you to do is to like us. Please like us, and please subscribe. Then head on over to Paper Wishes. I will tell you that Paper Wishes has the very best pricing on Hunkdory product. We've been working with them for over 15 years. It may be even longer than that. And they've been great, and we absolutely love the variety of their products, as you can see here. So it's nice to know that we're going to give you the best pricing too. Okay, and I do want to thank Heidi for doing such a great job and giving us lots of ideas, even though I asked her to make 5 cards instead of just 4, because that just worked out perfectly. Okay, I want to thank you. Oh, and remember, the directions are down below. Okay, so that will work nicely. Go there if you want to get more detailed. It's just really too much to give you lots of fractions and things verbally. So they're all down there in written form for you. Okay, I want to thank you for joining us, for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.